So honest to God, though, let's just say your rules then. Let's say your rules. 80s, 90s, refs.
With the Pistons?
Hand checking. I could triple
You
team.
weren't beating
I could
the
knock
Pistons.
the shit out of you coming down the lane.
The 89 Pistons, you're not beating us.
Like nobody.
Nobody.
Hey, I'm here with Spider John Salley, 4-time NBA champion. Are you the first guy to win 3 rings on 3 different teams? Is that true?
Yeah, I wish I would have been the only guy.
There was somebody
But
recently, right?
Robert Horry and then Tim Duncan
LeBron?
has LeBron. But I won in all 3 decades and 2 millenniums.
There we go. Not a lot of people
That's the
can
only
say
thing.
that.
Somebody told me that. I said, I'm using that. That's go for real.
Wikipedia, right?
That's right, new one.
And arguably the greatest vegan basketball player of all time as well.
That I'm going to say.
There we
I'm
go.
going to say the best
Most
vegan.
accomplished.
Yeah. Bill Walton had been vegetarian.
Was he a vegetarian?
And then, he got hurt, and they was like, that's because you don't eat any meat.
Yeah.
And that was the dumbest thing in the world. It had nothing to do with it. It was genetic. But I don't know. We got some wonderful vegans playing football now, playing basketball. Chris Paul decided, hey, this is a good way to be. My boy ISO Joe did it for a while. I don't know if he still does it, but
Which one
he
is
does
ISO Joe?
ISO Joe played in Atlanta. Remember, he was just killing people.
Yeah.
He has ISO Joe, ISO Yoga now. So he's this
Not
big,
Joe Johnson.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, hell of a
Joe
player.
Johnson, great player. And watching him, I went to take his yoga class, the class that he had at his yoga studio. And I was like, man, if I was able to bend like that when I played, I'd still be playing.
You look pretty flexible, though.
I'm flexible now because I didn't like anybody being better than me being that flexible.
Right. Exactly.
So I was like, I'm still competing with everybody.
Yep,
I said,
yep.
oh, you 40? I'm 61. I can stretch better than you. And he was doing all kind of stuff. I said, I got it.
You're not 61 years old.
61, yeah.
It's the creams. You got good creams.
No, it's
What did your teammates say, though? Because that was pretty early to be vegetarian, vegan, all that.
we don't talk.
You guys.
I tell people that
Yeah,
too. Guys, they never like this. This guy called me one time and was talking to me like he knew me, and I go, "Where do I know you from?" He said, "Come on, Sal, stop being silly." I said, "Seriously?" He goes, "I was your teammate in Miami."
Didn't even know.
I said, "Did we ever hang out?" He said, "No." I said, "Did you have my phone number?" He said, "No." So
You're
imagine
right about that, because there's so many people that think just because you're on the same team,
Right.
you guys are all best friends.
No. Sometimes you don't know what's going on.
Or Scotty said was never friends with Jordan. That blew me away. I'm like, come on.
Well, in
I
the
knew
sense
Scotty.
of the word.
I used to golf with Scotty, right? We were pretty tight. And I met Jordan once you were there, at his steakhouse, the opening of his steakhouse. And they were sitting at the same table. You could tell they were boys. They were laughing. So obviously there's been a lot that's going on that has upset Scotty. So I understand the sentiment. But he did say they weren't friends. And then all of a sudden, I saw it firsthand. They looked like they were friends to me. You were on his team, so you would know.
Let's go with the word friend. How many of us have them? Right? Friend is a gift you give yourself. Right? So maybe if they weren't teammates, they would have never been friends. But they were teammates. They were locked in together. They had a common bond at that point.
I mean, he was hugging him, Game 6, Utah. Sick
right,
game, that Game 6, the sick game.
Yeah, because he was going to help you win. And,
Yeah.
But as far as friends, like I said, I've lost a lot of friends to death and to life. So what I mean is certain times you just get out of the proximity of being around somebody. You no longer do the same things,
Like how many of those old Piston, Dumars, all those guys are you still, like you guys on a text chain?
Yeah.
Sending stupid
That's
shit
the only
to each other?
team on the Czechs team that I played on.
So
I
that was
played
your
on
family.
5 teams. Yeah, so it's me, Rick Mahorn. I got to start with me. Me. No. It's Rick Mahorn, James Edwards, Bill Laimbeer, Vinnie Johnson, Isiah Thomas, and me.
Not Danley.
And Mark Aguirre.
Danley's off.
No,
He looked like he hated everybody just from.
He loved me though.
He
So
did.
yeah.
Well, he was partially the diet thing too, right?
Yeah, he got me to pay attention to when I ate and what I ate.
Yeah.
And I was 22 years old, so I learned it.
Yeah.
Like I watched a game the other day, the Ravens,
Yep.
right, playing against Detroit, and my wife said, "What are you gonna do?" I said, "I'm just gonna watch it as a football fan. I'm a Lions fan,
Right.
but I want Lamar to win a championship. Not before I want the Lions to win a championship,
Yeah.
but I want Lamar to win a
Yeah.
championship." And I watched when Henry lost focus.
Which Henry?
Derrick Henry, the
Okay,
running
yeah.
back. As soon as I saw him lose focus and start yelling and taking his camera off, that wasn't his demeanor. As soon as I saw that, I saw, oh, they lost.
He's a beast. I mean, he's a big dude.
Yeah, but if you can get anybody to break their thought process in the game, you get into there. You don't see Lamar ever get frazzled, right?
Which is
win or loss.
Which is basically the Pistons.
Right.
Well, with the Jordan years.
Exactly.
So you come in, and you got to play in the Boston Garden against '86. I think is arguably the greatest team ever. Now you're playing them. Like, what does that feel like as a rookie? Like walking into a hostile environment, Boston Garden, Lions Den. Like, what does that feel like? Were you scared? Or did you have fear? Did you doubt yourself?
You're the only person that's asked me this.
I bet you there's been everybody's asked you that.
You're the only person that's asked me this.
You're kidding.
They never asked those questions.
I thought you were joking.
No one's ever asked me that. So let me tell you how I feel. I'm a sophomore in college.
That blows my mind, by the way. But
Yeah, I did too. Why would you not ask me? They didn't. They said, "Hey, how was Larry Bird as a talker?" But no one ever asked me how it feels when you're going in to play against.
or the night before, you're just trying to sleep. You're
Well, they're pulling the fire alarm
in Boston.
in Boston. You guys suck, you bastards! Get in the car.
That's hilarious.
This is
Nice fans, right?
the greatest fans in the world.
You said you're nervous, you're doubtful. Are you afraid? You're not afraid?
I'm very afraid,
Okay.
but I'm so enjoying this journey. If anybody knew how hard it was for me to get to this point, I played on teams in the Bronx where I would leave school, run to the train, get on the train, do my homework on the L, get all the way up to Manhattan, then take the RR till I got there. And I would have to look in my bag to see what color the team was. None on that guys knew who I was. I was a skinny kid that ran fast and blocked shots.
Yeah.
And I would be up in the Bronx at the Tiny Archibald tournament. And then I would go get on the train and have to do the rest of my homework there. And I had my basketball. So I was dribbling on the train with my left hand. And then the next stop, I dribble with my right hand. And then the next stop, the left hand. So that's how it's 2 hours each way. I would walk places. My coach is in town, Ted Gustus. He was 22 when I was 12. We're still tight to this day. And he would train me. My boy Bonnie Davis died. I had guys coming to me and said, "You got some talent if you want to work on fundamentals." No one knows the thousands of hours to even get to this point. And the nose I was running into, and I would bounce off and go this way, and I would bounce off. So no one knows that. They just say, "Oh, you got to this point." No, it was when I didn't have any money in Georgia. I didn't have a car, so I walked everywhere. When they would go to the nightclub on a Friday night, I'd go to the gym. Coach Crimmins gave me a key. I go to the freshman gym. I have my little box with my tape with all this hip-hop from New York, and I'd be in the gym by my lonesome. So by the time they were coming back from going to Waffle House or IHOP, getting turned down at somebody at Mr. V's, by the time they were rolling back into the dorm, I was dribbling a weighted basketball at 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning.
So when did you know you were good? When did the light bulb?
When I was born. No. I said, when I saw Magic Johnson on the Mike Douglas show at 19 years old, EJ the DJ. He took him out. He said, you know how you said you're a DJ. Take us out to commercial. He said, all right, we'll be right back on the Mike Douglas show with EJ the DJ when we get back. And it goes to commercial. My brother goes, 19. You going to be a pro in 5 years? And I was just staring at Magic like, dang, this 19? So from 8th grade on, one, I didn't miss a day of school, and I didn't miss a day of having a basketball in my hand, something concerning basketball.
Super focused.
Yeah. I'm super focused now on, like, when I do things. So Red has me, Len Bias, and Mike Brown, since we're sophomores, coming to do the summer camp in Mossville, right? But they act like you're a camper or a counselor, but it's really just to play the night games, and they're knowing who they're going to draft. They got guys in from Europe. These runs are private, but this is how the Celtics are picking who's on the squad.
What year are we talking about here?
This is 1984
Okay.
and
So prime Larry, all that stuff.
1985.
I got you.
So I get
You're
to know.
at Georgia Tech at the time.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm going to be a Celtic.
Right.
Now, this is why I think it's funny you say that. So I'm a Celtic fan growing up, and everybody thought I was crazy to be a Celtic fan. I wasn't a Knicks fan. They lose. I love Dr. J. So I was but I loved the Celtics. They were the first to hire a black man as coach. And
Casey Jones.
No, Bill Russell.
He was their coach?
He was a coach and player. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Red retired and made him the coach
He used to
and the
throw
player.
up before games too, which I think is interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
I had no idea he was a coach.
Yeah, he was a player coach. And I just loved Celtics, the green and white. I had green and white Pumas. You couldn't tell me anything.
Right.
I was going to be on this squad. But they're telling Len Bias the same thing. So we're sitting there. Lenny can't tell me that they already told him they're going to pick him number 2 because they got everybody thinking they're going to pick me number 2. So no one picks Lenny number 1. They take Brad Daugherty. And
Lenny didn't go number 1.
he went number 2 behind Brad Daugherty. And he goes, Sal, I see you in the lead. And, you know, the tragic thing is he went home and got, pressured into snorting cocaine. And I went to Detroit.
First time he tried it, I guess, too, they said.
Yeah, so they say. Yeah. I wanted to be a Celtic. So when we're warming up and I see Red, I go with Red. I go, what happened? He goes, come on, long tall. You know I had to take Lenny. And I go, yeah, man. He said, man, how sad. I go, but I'm going to bust your ass every time I'm home. So I considered the Garden a home game.
Wow. Yeah.
And I never had a bad game in the Garden.
I even
you can look that up.
like people. You were a rookie playing important minutes.
Yeah.
I mean,
in the game,
you blocked Parrish's ass right at the end of the game there. Larry did cross you over, and he
did
broke
a lot.
your ankles a little bit.
He did a lot.
But you were in the stretch as a rookie,
right,
with huge minutes.
Yeah. So what happened is the last game when Vinnie Johnson and Adrian Dantley were diving for the ball and they hit heads and the AD was knocked out, I got like 17 points, 12 rebounds, 4 blocks.
I just watched it.
I thought, I'm just balling. I'm not understanding what's happening. I'm playing against the Celtics, and I'm going to win and prove you should have drafted me. So I had a different mindset.
So it was a chip on the shoulder, MJ type thing.
Man,
like
I
I'm
had
going
a
to come.
mountain on my shoulder when I got in the NBA.
Yeah.
Because I had so many people I had to prove wrong.
So you have that like Tom Brady thing, like he was picked last
in
the draft, and I know every single guy that was ahead of me. I know you had Brad Sellers and all that.
Yeah.
One other thing, and we'll go back, but Len
See, you tried to slip Brad Sellers because he's a Chicago guy.
Well, you kicked his ass, so it was fine. He had a motivation to.
Yeah.
They picked Sellers. He was supposed to go to the Bulls, and they picked Sellers instead of him. He thought he was going to the Bulls. He was.
Yeah, I thought I was going to Boston, but I get that.
I saw you going like that.
Yeah, when I'm thinking, hey, we going, and then he didn't even show up to the draft.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh man.
Ooh, Jerry Krause had to make it up. But go ahead.
But Len Bias, though, I'm jumping around, just from an eyeball test. Like I saw him play. You played against him a bunch, probably, right?
Yeah. Since I was 16.
You tell me, but
he's Michael Jordan 6'9". At 6'9".
I'm not making this up, so I don't know shit, but I'm just saying from an eyeball, because I watched him go against Jordan. You played against him, so I'll let you answer this. But in what I saw was the second greatest basketball player I've ever seen.
Right. And so I started thinking.
Am I crazy for saying that?
No, you're not. And it's so
like
funny.
Like 5-star camp, he kicked his ass, right?
At 5-star, we be at 5-star. I'm not going to say this is the deal. MJ, I used to fight saying he was the best, right? But I have to be honest.
You said he wasn't in your top 5 for a while.
Because he's a constituent.
Well,
right?
You guys were enemies. I get that.
Right. But it's so funny. He and I weren't. It was, you know what I'm saying? He and I were tight. We both
You guys
played
were frat
Jamaican
brothers and all
soccer.
that.
Yeah, and I've been around him since '83. And when he went pro and he came into Atlanta, I would be like, yo, what do you want to do after the game? I'm going to be in my room. And all right, I'll bring you some pizza. What do you want? That kind of stuff.
So why were you guys so close?
I gravitate toward those who need greatness around them or who do great things.
But did you know like 83, 84, 85 that this guy was, well, I guess 83, 84 before? You could tell or no?
No, I said it to James Worthy. I said, do you believe skinny Michael Jordan is the Messiah? Like,
wow.
He was a skinny thing.
Like this happened, yeah.
Yeah. So when we would lose, we would beat them. And remember we won one big game. I can't tell you the game at the stadium. And so I hurry up and get dressed. And I'm walking in the locker room. And everyone's looking at me like, how dare you walk in the locker room? And I'm looking around like,
I know this guy.
What's that? I said, Jay, where are we going to eat? He goes, Sal, I can't go out with you. We just lost to you. Like, get out of the locker room. I'm like.
So you guys were that tight, yeah.
I said, I got to leave the locker room. Oh, okay. Hey, what's up? because I was able to separate work and play.
And so could he. I mean, he went out with the Knicks, and that's where Van Gundy said he's trying, he's a, assassin, a nice assassin.
Yeah.
He's buttering you up, and then he's going to kill you.
It wasn't like that. It's just
you were real. It was real.
When you get in between those lines, I'm trying to dunk on you. When you think you got a free layup, I'm trying to throw your shit into the stands. I'm trying to shut you down. Right? Because I knew I can slide my feet. Mm-hmm. I knew I can play defense. I also knew I was quicker than most guys 7 foot. So I had a different kill. Like, it's so funny. I was on this show called Best Damn Sports Show, and they were kind of clowning my position in the NBA. Oh, you rode the bench. I said, hold on, what are you talking about? And it was like, well, you never was a starter. You wasn't an all-star.
What idiot would say that?
And I said, Chris Rose. And I said, hold on, homie.
Yeah.
I'm a champion. He goes, yeah, but you had some good minutes and some good points. I said, I don't care how you put this. That tire does not roll unless every tread is where it's supposed to be. Of course. Air is at the right pressure.
He must never have played sports. But here, let me ask you this.
But that mentality. So when people say that, I go, you must not know what team means and how things fit. And if they don't fit, you don't win. Think about OKC.
So you guys would beat OKC? So they honestly played a little like you, though, because Dort's a hell of a defender like Dumars, like you guys were all great defenders. They had shooting. Shai has a mid-range game. But here, I got a question for you. If you had a hybrid game and you take Pistons, Bulls, both Lakers teams, Kobe, Shaq that you were on, Magic's Lakers, Larry's Celtics. Take any one of those. Versus, let's say, Golden State, LeBron's whatever, Cavs or one of his teams.
Which ones?
What's the
LeBron's last Cavs team?
Let's go Heat. Let's go like one of
the one that won the championship?
Yeah. LeBron's Heat and this current OKC.
So what's your question?
So here's the question. Hybrid. Half the game is your rules, 80s, 90s, refs, rules, everything. Next half, today. Who comes out on top 7-game series?
Golden State.
Really? So they're better than...
If you're able to play their rules. Like I said this to somebody. I love Steph Curry. Right? I was a Playboy All-American with his dad. I was around him when he was, a ball boy. I love Steph Curry. This is one of my favorite players. But Isiah Thomas was a problem for people. And you used to be able to run people off of hard picks.
Maurice Lucas.
Right. So the acting that's going on now, they're not getting that.
How would they deal with Maurice Lucas, Tree Rollins, you? Come on.
Especially.
But you're saying Golden State, though.
Well, I think LeBron is – I just tell you, man, I think Larry Bird, I always said it, Magic Johnson and Larry Bird are the same person. You're not beating Larry Bird. You're not beating the Celtics. So when we beat the Celtics, I think the reason we lost in the championship in 88, because we had already won our championship by beating the Celtics, to us. And I think we realized that. And the next year we realized we got to get, Isiah said, we got to get home court advantage. We got to play like we played last year, like when we beat the Celtics, and we got to come in here with home court advantage, and nobody's our friend. So that's why Magic and Isiah went to Bulls.
Talking 88.
Yeah, because he was letting them know I'm no longer friends now. Mm-hmm. I want this.
No more kissing before the game.
Yeah, they still.
Magic.
It was
Magic
a fake,
gave him that hit.
Yeah, it was a fake kiss. It was like, I'm
right.
your ass right now.
Magic.
You know? Yeah, but you won't.
But you just said Golden State would win.
That's because I'm good on television.
So honest to God, though, let's just say your rules then. Let's say your rules. 80s, 90s, refs.
Would the Pistons?
Hand checking. I could triple
You
team.
weren't beating
I could knock the shit out of you coming down the lane.
The 89 Pistons, you're not beating us.
Like nobody.
Nobody.
You know what people underestimate, too, is how good Bill Laimbeer was. I mean, you look at some of his numbers. I mean, some years he'd get you 17 and 12. He'd hit the shit out of you coming in the lane, which was effective back then. You guys, I looked it up, were not in the top half of fouls.
No.
Now, you probably had more hard. I mean, everybody knows there
the
was hard
Celtics
fouls.
had more hard fouls.
So why does
they
Larry,
had a crew?
But Larry Bird is like, he's dirty. He's trying to maim me. He's trying Mahorn. He said Mahorn's not. He's like, Laimbeer is. He's trying to end my career. So
that was so crazy that he said that. And let me tell you, because Bill Laimbeer is the biggest Larry Bird fan. He loved the Celtics. He was not trying to hurt Larry ever. Michael Jordan might have thought that, but Bill Laimbeer wasn't the one that was hitting people. And somebody said, "Oh, you're tripping. Watch."
If you could break him, you could break their whole unit.
No, it goes to Bird in the corner. And we're starting to see the bang-bang stuff now. Rodman is all over Bird. C-Sting goes baseline, goes underneath. Dishes off now to Bird. And there is a violent knockdown by Laimbeer. Oh, my. A completely unnecessary foul by Laimbeer, and he pulled Bird to the ground. He slammed him to the ground.
He would wait and get the ball out of your hand. He would push people, right? Not while
So
they were
you're
in
saying
the air.
Laimbeer did not purposely try to hit people?
No, he didn't. He didn't.
That's like saying Madonna wasn't
If
like a virgin.
You're going to have to show me the video. Let's go to the Warner. Let's go to the videotape.
We're going to put a loop in here.
You got to put a loop when he was trying to. Remember, Bill Laimbeer took charges.
But Phil Jackson was smart about bitching to and Jordan about the thuggery, all this shit. But they were
Propaganda.
smart about that because they're trying to win, though.
Propaganda.
But it's smart, right?
Yeah, and the NBA needed Michael
Yeah.
to win.
And you look at like 91, I'm a Bulls guy, obviously, right? Like I hated you guys. You represent so much fear to me because I was a kid,
Yeah.
a teenager. And like, it's almost like a horror movie where I'm like, you wake up that morning, all I thought about was I cannot wait to watch this game, right? It was the best thing ever. And we're doing well. Like Jordan's kicking ass. Pippen's playing until he, got a headache or whatever. And Laimbeer hit the shit out of him there too, though. Like he drilled him in the head.
No, he didn't.
Oh my God. You don't think Laimbeer hit Pippen in the head?
No, so what happened is, as Bill would jump,
We have videos.
he would jump with two hands.
I know, and
And
there was an elbow. But you guys were like a horror movie.
Yeah.
Where you knew, like, Friday the 13th, Jason, he's going to come back. They're going to come back. And I swear to God, I knew it. I'm like, you guys are going to break our heart. When I'm talking like 88, 89, you knew you guys were going to win.
Yeah.
But it was like this confidence that you guys had that they didn't have. So what the Bulls didn't have, they didn't have, in my mind.
Heart.
Yeah, at the time. I mean, Jordan did. But the mental toughness, and they reacted to you guys.
Right.
They reacted. They were very reactive. So
They were trying to hit us. There's a video going out
Yeah.
when they're trying to hit us hard and then wanting to see what we're going to do. And we would laugh because we didn't play that way. So this is the deal. And I tell people this all the time. I'm going to step in front of you as you're driving, trying not, and you're going to throw the ball out, and Dennis is going to block it. Then vice versa.
He would just jump. Yeah.
So you're falling on the ground, you're looking crazy, you're thinking you're going to get fouled, but you really ran over me. The ref doesn't want to call foul on you, because you charged me. My feet was in position. Then Dennis blocks it. Isiah gets it. We're fast breaking, and it looked like you took an ill-advised shot. We were a great chain. We moved when we supposed to move, and the Jordan rules were don't let them score.
Well, the Jordan rule, the silly part about the Jordan rule, if you look at the Cavs game, the shot, right? Like he caught it on purpose. Like they designed a play for him to go left. Like your thing I know was make him go left. But like that was the one game, I know that was before. But it's not like Michael couldn't go left though, right?
So the reason I say that on
like
other
the shot,
stuff,
he was going left on purpose.
He looks, he gives to Jordan. Jordan to the circle, puts the shot in the air. Good! The game's over, and the Bulls have won. Jordan beat him at the buzzer with a jump shot in the circle, and Chicago has knocked off the Cavs 101 to 100.
I go, we would push Michael left. And the reason we put it left, because he would have to put the ball down with his left hand. And in order to shoot the ball, he has to pick it up, right? So when he turns his hand over and puts his hand on it, then we close up. He's going to shoot. He's not going to pass.
And then everybody closes out.
So when you're pushing him right, you don't know what he's going to do because that right hand is whatever, and then he's like this. But when it's in his left hand, he's still got to bring it to his right hand to shoot.
And that's what's cool because, like, everybody looks at you guys. There was a lot of strategy going on, especially when you and Isiah talk about it.
Yeah.
And you guys game plan for everybody. It wasn't just Jordan, but obviously he was the hardest to cover. I mean, Wilkins, guys like that were tough to cover,
Larry
too.
Bird was the hardest to cover.
Really?
Magic Johnson, too, because Magic Johnson would back down and start the offense. Most point guards started from the top of the key. Magic would start it from the box. If you didn't come double him, he was going to shoot a hook shot over a 6'1", or 6'2" guy.
So
or
Larry
like
Bird,
Dennis, a 6'8" guy.
Larry Bird was the hardest?
Larry Bird was, for me, the hardest to play.
So here's what I don't understand. So Larry Bird would get, I remember like prime Larry Bird, would get 10, 11 rebounds, right? But you already have McHale in there who's basically 7 feet with his arms. Parrish, 7 feet. So you got two other 7-footers.
And you had DJ. No one realized DJ was a 6'5" guard.
He was that tall?
Yeah.
See, Ainge, you had all these guys, right? So you had the big guys sucking up, competing for rebounds, and he still got you 10 or 11. But you're also going against another team who's got big centers. Where today you tell me if I'm wrong, there's not as big as centers anymore. So how does Bird get 10, 11? You get Rodman, obviously gets like 14, 15, 16, 6, 7. And then you get LeBron, 6'9", getting you 6 or 7.
But he plays point guard.
Yeah, but Westbrook plays point guard, got triple-double, right? And it's like, why is he getting all the rebounds? Because there's no big guys sucking up rebounds.
He misses a lot of layups and he gets his own rebound. Westbrook was one of my favorite players, but Kevin Durant is my favorite.
I love Kevin Durant.
This is the difference. We also, in Detroit, used to hold teams under 85 points. And if we held you under 85 points at home,
that's a wrap.
Hungry Howie's was giving you half off on a pizza. So we used to say, let's get him some pizza tonight.
Yeah.
So we had other things too. You know, it was right now it's if a guy's 3 feet off you, the more shots to the basket you get, analytics say it's better off. If you used to take an ill-advised shot while we're setting up and running the clock, they would look at you like you were crazy. Now it's run, gun, run, gun, run, gun, run, gun.
3-pointer, screen and roll, 5 out, 4 and 1 out.
If I get more shots at the basket,
yeah,
the chances of me winning are, I think, 60%. And they run 200 more miles than we do.
I was talking to Reggie Miller, and he told me Jordan would get 50 today with the rules. He goes, if you got 5 out or 4 out and 1 in, with the rules, you can't hand check, you can't triple team, you can't knock the shit out of people like before. He's like, how, especially a young Jordan.
If you took him and put him into the future, he would.
If he played today, like in his prime.
No, but he couldn't have grown when they grew to now, because he was the prototype. So you would have to take the prototype and bring him from then into the future now, and say this is how they play, and then he'd be like, what? He'd get 50, 60, because he would do nothing but drive the basket.
How would you stop him? I'm saying like even a call it 87 Jordan where he had 37.5 points. He was too quick. Like I've eyeballed Kobe. You know what you're talking about. I don't know what I'm talking about. Just from an eyeball test, I don't think those guys could stay in front of Michael. I think he was too quick at that age. Like, you guys needed 3 people
But
to shut him down.
We also ran plays. So everybody
Oh, the
runs
triangle,
the
yeah.
same play.
Screen and roll.
All the teams.
Screen and roll.
Well, we won 2 championships with that. We called it, but the rules were different. 2 over here, and then 3 had to be lifted. Then they changed the rules. 2 had to be lifted, but 1 had to be below.
Right.
So you didn't have any defense on that side. So once you came off a Bill Laimbeer pick, if the big man showed and Bill went to the basket, Bill would
He could slip or
gallop to the basket.
Yeah.
But before he would slip out of position to be in a position and he
shoot
shot
him. Yeah, he's kind of new school in a way.
Right.
I mean, you guys were.
And then there was a couple of guys who would shoot him. But Bill was so smart and so focused. He played hard all the time, win or lose.
So how many does Jordan get today? If you took him 1987, you just transport him to OKC or something, or Golden State.
No, if you had him in Chicago.
Yeah, Chicago.
He would get 50 a game. He got 32 a game.
37.
37.
Yeah.
But you understand? Imagine if you can't hit him.
And you look at those old scores, it was like 85 to 90 or something. Yeah.
That's right. And he had close to 40 of them.
Right.
One time we were playing him, it's been my man 50 grand since college, and he gets 20 on Joe. And so Chuck says, I got to make a change. He puts Dennis on him. He gets 22. I said, Chuck, I know this guy since 1983.
Yeah.
He don't like shit. He get 20 on me. He had 62 in the Silver Dome.
Man.
I am so happy I don't see these games. I'm so happy they can't find the tape.
So when he off camera, because The Last Dance, what's funny to me, I know he's got this image of being super intense. You played with him, obviously, in 96, and you know him forever. To me, he actually didn't appear that intense in The Last Dance. It was more everybody else saying he was a bully. But they didn't show it. A couple looks here and there, but to me it looks like he's kind of screwing people having fun. But how intense was he off camera, pickup game, behind the scenes?
He's intense when he's on a basketball court. He's intense on a golf course. He's intense pitching pennies. He's intense playing blackjack, playing poker, playing whatever he plays. When it's in a competition against somebody else, he wants to win, right? I guess everybody's competitive.
And that's is he more, do the greats like Larry, him, Isiah, all these, the crazy greats, do they get too much credit or are they just more talented? Like, do you really think he's more competitive than you and Laimbeer, or is he just more talented?
More competitive, more talented.
Do you believe that, like him, Kobe?
Yeah, the difference is they all have great talent. Isiah beat them all. But
Isiah did beat him.
He would get to he's so quick. His nickname was Black Cat. Like he moved like a cat. And it just didn't stick. But, that was his thing. He was quick like a black cat.
I get the physical ability, but you're telling me like you, Laimbeer, you guys are intense too.
We're intense. But I saw him one time. I had to drop on him. I knew he was going to do this move, and I was going to put it to the backboard. And he did the move, and I dropped and jumped, and he had dunked it by the time I was taking off. And he was like, block that, bitch. And I was like, he just dunked on me on television. You just got me on CBS.
I love it. All right, I want to get into your career again, though. What if you were on a shitty team? Could you have been, a 2010 guy, or would you rather be on the great teams that you were on? You were on the greatest teams ever with Isiah, with Jordan, with Kobe and Shaq. Played against Larry, Magic.
Kareem.
I mean, the best.
Akeem. Dr. J.
So do you think you could have been like a 2010 guy if you?
It was so funny. Chuck Daly sat me down and said, I know you can score, you scored in college. What I need is for you to block shots, play defense, and be a good kid. He goes, score when it's available.
And weren't you kind of like the team psychologist in a way? You were the glue, the sort of stabilizer.
Well, it depended on the team. With the Pistons, I was quiet.
Okay.
But as Isiah would say, I didn't miss foul shots at the end of the game. I didn't foul. I shut down. I followed instructions. I knew the game. I helped when I was supposed to. I'm not giving up any. It's like a lineman. I'm not letting you get my quarterback.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not letting you get. I'm an OT on this side.
Great teammate.
You're not great teammate. And I was about winning. Everybody else, it's so funny. I dunk on people. I got a lot of dunks coming off the rim. If you give it to me in a situation and we need to score and I got the ball and it's up to me, I'm putting the ball in the basket. That's just, and it was so far in between.
And today's game would be better for you with all the slip screens and lobs and, you know what I mean?
Isaiah said, Sal, you'd be a Hall of Famer if you played now.
For sure.
Because now you can grab the ball off the backboard and dribble up court and you can play like Jokic. Right? You can play, you could, Joker does this, he throws a pass, he handles the ball.
Right.
He does all that. If guys were like that, I had to play against Maurice Lucas.
He was a beast.
Caldwell Jones.
I saw him pick a guy's head up and just
Tree Rollins. Yeah, man.
Beast.
I saw my boy Dow Dawkins not want to throw a punch just in case he missed. Yeah.
So Boston Celtics, you're a rookie, 1987. I think it was game 5. I think you guys were 2-2, about to go 3-2 in the Garden. Isiah grabs it with 5 seconds left, turns it over to Bird. Bird throws it to DJ. End of the game.
Take it to the hoop. You can bet. He's going to try to draw a foul.
It's blocked. And Seasting hit it off of a Detroit player. No, it is. Here's a disparity in the call. They're going to give the ball to Detroit. Bird steals it. Johnson, layup, Boston. 1 second left. Detroit timeout. 1 second left. Bird steals it and gets it to Johnson at the buzzer. 1 second remaining. Oh, my.
When I rewatch, number one, how did that feel for you guys after that? Like you go on the plane. How did Isiah feel? But I vaguely remember you talking about the team psychologist, like talking to Isiah about that, right?
Yeah, it was a trip because I'm out of the game, and Adrian Dantley's next to me. And when he throws the ball, AD's like, what happened? Because, it's Boston. They're not going to have it on it. I go, what happened? He goes, Isiah threw the ball away. And he's like, what? Now, these are the rules. The guard never takes the ball out. The big man takes the ball out and throws it to the guard. Isiah looked at the clock.
And you don't throw it in your own basket,
and you don't throw it backwards. But he's thinking Bill is a great foul shooter. And Bill knows Larry wants to kill him. So Isiah looks and sees, you don't want them to think on what we're going to do. Take the ball out, give it to Bill, let him foul Bill. Bill's going to hit both of those foul shots. Now we're at 5, where they got 2-3 seconds.
Right.
So Isaiah's thinking that ahead. Bill Laimbeer is thinking Larry Bird is coming to break his nose. So Bill steps back.
Yeah, he stepped back. He didn't go to the ball.
Right.
That was weird to me.
When he should have been taking the
went
ball
through
out.
the ball.
Well, it was all.
But even the pass itself, though, he's still, if he just meets the pass.
Also, Chuck didn't call timeout. If he calls timeout, maybe we advance. But we just didn't know what to do. There was that kind of situation.
Isiah said he panicked. He admitted that he panicked, but I feel like he took a bullet for Laimbeer, because if Laimbeer meets that pass, if he just meets the pass, you guys win that game.
You hate Laimbeer. But anyway.
No, I'm saying like.
Yeah, I agree. But you do hate him.
He did.
I love him, but you do hate him.
But he did go backwards. Anyway, so going back to that game.
Okay.
So
I get on the plane, and Isaiah's sitting. We chartered a whole jet, and this was a big one. So Isaiah's sitting in this aisle by the wing, and there's people in the front, and there's people in the back. And Jack McCuskey's over here rattling paper. And Isaiah's just looking out the window.
And nobody wants to go near him, probably.
I'm a rookie.
Yeah.
So what? We lost. We just proved to ourselves we can beat them in the Garden. It's
and
the way I think.
You weren't scared to go up to him?
No. I don't know anybody
that's wild
either.
to me. That honestly is wild.
Yeah, I don't know you're supposed to leave people alone when they're sulking. Like, snap out of it. We got a game in a day and a half.
The biggest loss of his life.
Yeah.
Ever.
And he
threw it away.
Yeah.
And he admitted he panicked, right? He wasn't ready for that moment yet.
No. And that's why we didn't win.
But you had the balls to, and what'd you say to him?
I went up to him and had some peanuts. And I said, hey. He goes, what, Si? I said, what's wrong? He goes, Si, I just lost the game for us. I go, Yeah, but now we know we can beat them in the Garden. So
put
we're
it-
going to
you
go
turn it
home.
to a positive.
Right. We beat the out of them when we got home.
Yeah.
And I said, "You want some peanuts?" And he's looking at me like, "Dude, are you psycho?"
Did he want to kill you, or was he?
I don't
pissed
know,
or-
but I'm like,
Yeah.
"Hey, if you keep this up, it's going to happen again at home." Now we have motivation.
Right.
So think about it. We beat the mess out of them in Game 6. So when we come back, it's a Sunday afternoon game. We have
In the
a
Garden.
team meeting in the hotel. We then walk out on the patio at the hotel. It's hot. And I was like, we're going to beat these guys. Like, they're afraid of us now.
Yeah.
To the point where never would you think Adrian Dantley is going to dive at a ball or Vinnie Johnson. And that's how bad we wanted it. Both of them dove after the ball, something that they hadn't
their
done
heads.
before. And that was the leprechaun. That was the leprechaun.
That Laimbeer used to spit on the floor.
Yep. I loved it.
So how low were
See,
you
I
guys?
thought you hate Laimbeer. I love
He
Lambs.
scared the shit out of me. So, like, I still can't believe that guy grew up in the town where I live now, though.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a lily white. You got the,
All the racists are there now.
you got the dirtiest player in the history of the game. I know you're not going to say so, but people think so.
Right.
From this town where my kid goes to school, and it blows my mind. But yeah.
Bill might be the bully at this.
You know what he would be?
What?
Here's Bill Laimbeer. If he was 5'10", he would just be that total jag-off you see in like a pickup game that's just yelling and beating the shit out of people the whole time.
Let me tell you,
If he was 5'10",
Bill can shoot it.
he can shoot, but he's
One of the
6'11", right?
smartest,
6'10"?
6'11", 6'10".
I'm saying he's great.
One of the smartest players you ever want to play and plays hard. He does not care about anything outside of
He
his
doesn't give a
teammates.
shit.
and
That's
his-
the beauty of him.
Yeah.
He's got balls. You know what
Right.
it is? He could. I don't care what Jordan thinks of me. I don't care what Bird. I don't think what Magic.
It does, because he's
got
right. It doesn't make a
massive balls.
difference.
Did that filter? Like, what did you learn from those guys?
What I learned from him is
Just
what
from-
other
yeah.
people think of you is none of your business. So
That's huge, though,
Right.
because a lot of anxiety
Right.
is
But
worrying about what people think about you.
you know, all stress comes from other people. Doesn't
Yeah.
come from yourself. It comes
Right.
from other people.
So he probably had no anxiety. That guy.
No, he would take all the darts, all the arrows,
Man.
all the bad whatever.
Yeah.
He was going to articulate it when they spoke to him. He was going to be very direct and eloquent with he wasn't going to curse at him.
Yep.
He handled it. He took all of it. As a captain, he took all of the problems. He walked out. He knew they hated him. He knew. So we won half the game. Because of Bill, we won
Already there.
half the game.
It's like
because-
Tyson showing up in the ring before. He's already
Right,
won.
guys was thinking,
Yeah.
oh, I'm going to wear my war paint. Bill ain't even thinking about you.
I knew you guys were going to win.
Yeah, me too.
Everybody did. And then '88, you played the Lakers. You beat the Celtics.
Yeah, and then
How
they
did that
cheat
feel
us
to,
in there,
to
like-
beat the Celtics? So after everything,
You mean when they walked off court, didn't shake anybody's hand?
Mikhail shook your hand.
No, he gave Isiah 5. He didn't shake anybody else's hand.
Right.
And the rest of them just walked through while Adrian Dantley was on the bench, didn't say a word to us, just walked off court.
Yep.
But when we do it, there's
Right.
a problem.
There's a problem. It's because Isiah was like ducking his head and made it look like something was going on.
Yeah, but Danny Ainge and Larry walk off with security. Robert Parrish, Saunders out.
Does Isiah Thomas make the dream team if he shook his hand?
The reason Isiah Thomas wasn't on the dream team is because the NBA needed to push John Stockton and Karl Malone.
That's interesting. I never heard that.
Yeah, like
But Stockton and Malone were great.
no Isiah Thomas.
True.
So,
No, 100% true.
but the NBA
But
was
Jordan,
pushing
Jordan
you.
would tell you that. But Isiah was a little later. You know who I think got screwed off that team was Dominique.
Dominique got screwed in the slam dunk contest and on that team, but
Against Jordan, the dunk
Yeah.
contest? I said, you're an NBA player.
Dominique won
I
that slam
disagree.
dunk contest.
I honestly think that free throw line dunk where Jordan was like this was the greatest dunk I've ever seen.
Wow, it was so
Now, he
average.
did it twice, but Dominique did the same dunk 5
If-
times.
if
He
we
did
were
a
playing
windmill.
in Atlanta-
He did a double windmill.
That's
and-
right.
and
He
10
did-
times.
And he
Same
had,
dunk
I think
for 5
he,
years.
I think he was hitting his head on the rim. The only
So was
dunk that
Jordan,
I thought
though.
was
So I got
dope
a
with
poster
Mike.
of Jordan going like
I
that.
like when he took off sideways
Kiss the rim.
and dunk. Yeah, but we were in Chicago.
Here's what's interesting about, think about this. You got the current dunk contest, which another kid from my town, Montas, lives in my town.
Oh, really?
he didn't make a dunk or what. He's going to be great. He's going to have a breakout year. Everybody's like, the athletes are better now than they were back then. These guys can't even make a dunk. They got to get like some 6-foot white guy from, I don't even know where that guy's from. But like, you can't even get people from the NBA to execute a dunk.
You know why?
I don't remember Dominique or Jordan ever missing a dunk in the dunk contest. Not one time.
Let me tell you why. Back then, it was a prestige thing to be in the slam dunk contest, right? Now, it's not.
But you still got to compete when you get there. And they don't execute because they're missing the dunks.
Well, they also don't pay. They don't give you an extra day off.
Do you really think Jordan and Dominique cared about the money of the dunk contest?
I bet you they do now.
All right, so you get to 1988, you beat the Celtics, you beat the Bulls again.
Work.
And then you get to the Lakers. You get to the Lakers. I watched that game again.
We got cheated.
You should have like 7 rings, by the way. Easy.
That's what I
Easy.
say. I deserve 7.
So you got like 4 is low for you.
I said this, and people think I'm joking when I say it.
No. Like, you'd have to be smoking crack to think that. Now, here's a positive, Laimbeer. He did not foul. There is no way if you're going like this and Kareem goes up. That was not a foul.
They're racist. They don't like white people. The NBA don't like white people.
But so you, maybe.
Nothing but Africans. That's what it stands for. NBA, nothing but Africans.
So the Celtics beat you 87. 88, you can't overcome the Lakers. So there's lessons from the Pistons, though. It's like adversity, right? Same as goes back to mental health. You got to overcome. Like, you guys weren't ready yet.
This
you weren't
is the
ready
deal.
yet.
The NBA wasn't ready for us. And what I mean by that is, if you were setting up a play, they would show you Magic Johnson. They would show you this, and then they would say, Michael Jordan has just entered the United Center. He wasn't even playing.
Right.
It'd be in games, there'd be video of Michael walking in, marketing.
Yeah.
And then this team from a hardworking, blue-collar town called Detroit, in the middle of the crack pandemic, decided we're going to be stars, and we're going to play you, and we're going to play our heart out. We represented the city of Detroit, the whole mentality of it. And we believe that. And to this point, that's why what we've had gone through as a team, they wouldn't do the teams now. We kept the team, and we would add new pieces. But the nucleus of the team, you're not getting traded.
Right.
So when AD got traded, I'm like, what are we doing? And Mark Aguirre is my ace boom coon now. Yeah. Like, I put him in my wedding. I liked him so much.
No shit.
Oh yeah. I loved
him on DePaul. DePaul was my favorite team growing up.
Yeah, I used to like that he had these big hands.
Yeah.
But I love draws. We call them draws.
But you guys had this fuel, though, from losing in 87, 88, you should have won. Really, 87, you should have won if there was maybe a timeout and if Laimbeer met that pass. But, so you got 2 years in a row where heartbreak, right? And how much fuel was that for you guys coming into 89?
Everything. Like, and this is another thing. Every time we played everybody we played, it was a championship game. After you win the championship and you go to a squad, the champs are coming in town, you play hard. So for 3 years in a row, I've only played championship-type games. There was no
regular
easy
season,
night.
Everything. Yeah.
Regular season, guys would take off 2 nights early to play against the champ. Oh, I got to rest
Yeah, they're
my
up for
groin,
that game, yeah.
so they can play well against the
It's like
champs.
playing Mike or something.
Exactly.
You gotta,
Yeah, you're going to play against Mike So when I was on the Bull, every time you played the Bulls, it was a championship game.
Didn't Isiah say when you lost in 88, you guys lost, and you're on the plane, everybody usually goes summer vacation, and tell me if I'm wrong. Did he say 7 days, everybody do whatever the fuck you want, and we're all hitting the gym? Is that true?
I don't know if he said 7 days. I do know this. Joe Dumas, I was in the gym with Joe Dumas at 8 o'clock in the morning. Me and my boy Michael Christian, shout out to Michael Christian. We would hang out until 5:30, and then drive to the gym and be asleep in the car until Joe knocked on the window. And then we would get out and we would work out with Joe.
So you go out to the clubs and
then because Joe, you can't miss with Joe. Joe was like,
amazing what you can do when you're young.
Yeah.
I remember playing pickup games, like I would go out all night.
But you know what the crazy?
And I would do that, and then I'd play fine.
I just don't. This is crazy. I grew up with alcoholics, So I don't drink, and I don't smoke.
Can you give me a high noon?
Right. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't snort. I
Yeah.
just liked women. So when I went out, a good night to me is getting some. And if I didn't get some, man, that was a bad night, man. Then we would go to Greek Town, get some get some Greek food.
What's your
and
favorite city for going out and having fun?
Atlanta, Georgia.
Atlanta, Georgia.
Atlanta, Georgia.
Not like Toronto or.
Oh, I love Toronto. Oh. Hey, this is how cool Toronto is. I'm shooting a movie, Eddie, and my wife, I get traded to Toronto before I'm shooting a movie. But I'm shooting a movie in North Carolina. My wife she goes, I'm so happy you're not up here. I have never seen this many beautiful women in my life. And she goes, I'm going to have to check my sexuality. They're so beautiful up here. Motherfucker, I took a flight. That's how fine the women were. And it was during Carnival. And I was like, what is happening? Is this all the time?
You know what you should do, though? Find the cities that are like that, and then you just bet against that team the next day.
I did. I even know some people. I even know some people who said, I've been hanging out with such and such, and I don't know if he has legs to jump today.
Wow.
And I would be like, I should have had you around when I was in the league. You would have been in Shaq's room. Take this swing.
Wait a second. So we're on to something here. So are you responsible for the 96 Bulls
that's my
not
fault.
getting 73 wins?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because I threw a party. We came
So they would
in.
have tied Golden State if he didn't throw a party.
I threw a party, and it's hard to get MJ to come out the room.
Yeah.
MJ came out the room, and
You
Scotty
couldn't get
came.
him out? He just wouldn't come out?
No, I got him to go out in Philly,
Okay.
and that ruined it.
But he was like, I'm not doing it, Sal. I'm not going out.
He says,
You have to
I
sell
can't
him or
go
what?
out,
Yeah.
I said, who do you think you are, Michael Jordan? Like, that guy, who do you think you are, Magic Johnson? Like, people are going to be tripped out to see you.
So you
Just
finally
joking.
got him out.
I get him out for a second.
Yeah.
He goes, yo, this is amazing. I go, yeah, when I played here, because I just left Toronto, I got him to cut me. So I became the only free slave in the NBA.
Yeah.
I own my rights.
Yeah. Did you really, though?
I did. I
Wow.
own my rights. So any team that was asking for me
Yeah.
had to ask me. So when Jerry Krause sends me a text, I'm here at the Sony with my agent and my manager negotiating a late night talk show.
Yeah.
I'm ready. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm finally what I really want to do is about to happen.
Yeah.
And Jerry Krause is like, Jerry Krause, Chicago Bull, my last call. And it came in on my pager. And I said, can I use, you had to steal long distance. I use it. He goes, I wasn't calling you again, long tall.
Yeah.
I want to bring you in for a 10-day. I say word. When? He goes, well, don't say anything to anybody else about a week after the All-Star break. You in shape? Man, I stay in shape. I get off the phone, man. I'm back at Miami University running. I'm running. I'm trying to move the Oreo cookies and the chocolate milk to the side. I'm running, boy.
Yeah.
Getting my body in shape. But then when I get there, I say, oh, I know the triangle. They go, you don't know the triangle. And then I showed them the tapes we had in Detroit on how we broke it down. I said, all I need is the wording. So once I got the wording, that's why
good.
Tex
Ready to
loved
roll,
me.
yeah.
I asked Tex. I got the book, The Triangle Offense, autograph from Tex
That's awesome.
to me,
Yeah.
to the point where with the Lakers, when I left, they would have Laker 101, and I would come in and explain the triangle in layman's terms. Or I would tell Phil and Tex, I'm going to talk in modern time English. Like they're speaking in old English.
Well, I heard you guys ran it better than the starters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I knew it, too.
Shaw said that, yeah.
Yeah, I knew it, and I loved it. And that was another thing. When you talk about Chicago.
Yeah.
Michael doesn't win without that system.
Oh, come on.
We can double
Do you
team
think if
Michael.
Doug Collins stays there instead of Phil, they don't?
They don't
And I
win.
know Phil.
If they don't go to the triangle offense,
I mean, I get it because it was.
we would double team
Well,
Michael.
Here's what's funny. So your Pistons had this fuel from 87, 88. You overcome. You guys persevered, right? Just got better, better, better. You guys kicked the Bulls' ass. What did they miss? Physicality, mental weakness in terms of they were reactive. So they go to Tim Grover. They bulk up the Breakfast Club. Phil Jackson, to your point, and Tex Winter put in the triangle. And then what did Phil say? He goes, if the spotlight is on you, everybody else is going to be pissed off because it's always on you. It's going to come back to you. And then the I and win, what was that line, Michael?
Yeah.
Hey, what was that?
He said, there's no iron team. He said, but there's an M-E in there. That's what Kobe
Or
said.
iron win, right?
Yeah.
Iron win, yeah.
Yeah. There's an iron win. But this is the deal, too.
Yeah.
If you don't have that system, we are knowing how to play Michael. He catch the ball, double team him.
Yeah.
When he picks the ball up, if he got to dribble out when you're double teaming. If he puts two hands on the ball, you just run back. He's not going to make the right pass. He's mad he's not
Did you
scoring.
ever ask him about the Jordan rules? Or did he ask you?
No.
Never. He never brought it up. Huh.
He knew what the Jordan rules were.
Yeah. Knock the shit
Joe
out,
Dumars is
knock the shit out of him. If I go in the air,
225 pounds.
is basically if I go in there and knock the shit out of him. I mean, that was basically it, right?
So
Well, I get it. It was more nuanced than that.
No.
I'm just,
If he puts the ball down, right,
yeah.
with his left hand, we all go. When he puts his right hand on it, we all run back.
Because he's not going to pass. He's going
You
to shoot
know
it.
he's not going to pass.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Like when he passed to what's his name? Steve Kerr, and he passed to what's the other
Paxson.
one? Paxson.
Phoenix.
Like literally, you could see it was hurting him to do it.
Even when he came back, though, from baseball, he hit Wennington at the Knicks when he had 55. He goes, I can't pass too. I actually think he was an underrated passer, but yeah, that team, Pippen was so
he wasn't
young.
underrated. He didn't like passing it.
But he still got, 6 assists. He averaged 88, I think, the whole year.
Well, he
Almost
thought he was
triple-double.
cute, but he'd rather go to the basket.
All right.
Like Kobe will straight up tell you, I'm not passing you the ball. If we're going to lose the game, it's going to be because I didn't put it in the basket.
What do you think is the biggest difference between Kobe, Jordan? What I saw, athleticism, I just don't think he was as athletic as Jordan, just from an eyeball. I don't. Field goal percentage, Jordan, forget baseball, forget when he broke his leg, came back, forget the Wizards. If you take those years out, he was shooting up way above 50%. He was damn near like a center. Kobe was like 44, 45 typically.
Because it was more jump shots with Kobe than it was with
Yeah,
Michael.
he's attacking the rim. But Jordan, mid-range, even Durant's he's best mid-range ever.
Yeah, one of the best. Yeah, one of the best. But also the difference I said Michael is Tide soap detergent and Kobe is Tide wintergreen.
Yeah.
Right? Just a
And
different.
didn't you used to beat Kobe in one-on-one?
Yeah. Well, I can beat Michael one-on-one.
But you never did.
No. And I'm going to say that because I never did. Nobody can prove it now. Michael's 62 years old. I beat his ass.
So how many times would you play Kobe? 50,
Every
60?
game.
Every game.
Every practice at home.
Because you were just too long. He couldn't.
Yeah,
post him
and
up.
I'm only going to go to 5.
Yeah.
And I'm going to score. And then if he scores, then I'm going to
So
score.
MJ you would beat, though.
Yeah, I'd beat anybody. in
One-on-one's a
one-on-one.
different game. Yeah.
Yeah, because if you have rules, you only have 5 dribbles, 6 dribbles.
Right.
That kind of stuff.
Right.
You can't I'm going to win. Because if I'm taking the ball out, I'm going to back you down. I'm going to hold you.
Too long, too
and
tall.
I'm
I believe
going
it.
to win.
No, I actually believe that.
Yeah, I realized that at 5-star
Yeah.
basketball camp when I won that one.
To me, that actually doesn't sound that crazy. Because
Right,
one-on-one's different. Size matters. I mean,
If I was playing tennis,
how's Jordan going to beat Shaq, right?
oh,
He's too big. He just back him down and dunk.
if he wanted to.
Right.
Shaq also wanted to shoot jump shots and do cute stuff.
But if he wanted to back him down.
There's a guy now who can just dunk without jumping. He's 9 foot tall.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Wemby.
No, there's a new African.
He's literally 9 feet tall.
He's 8 feet tall and he doesn't jump. He just
Holy shit, just goes
dunks
like that.
he's in high school
Yeah.
now. It's over.
Hope he doesn't play Shaq. He's just not
No, I hope he can get to the point where he can move his legs.
Yeah. All right, so LeBron used to spent $1 million on his body
Underpaid.
every year.
Under.
Now Jordan, I golfed with Jeremy Roenick. He's told this story publicly where they golfed and he drank a ton of beer all day, right? Even in the Last Dance, he said, Game 6, they're like, what'd you do today? He was like, I had a few beers playing piano, right? Eating steaks before games, coffee. So LeBron's spending $1 million. This guy's drinking beer and drinking coffee before a game. To me, that's the GOAT right there. That ends it. Am I right?
Jay,
he didn't need to do any of this stuff. He
Jay,
didn't
he did.
He didn't even have any recovery techniques.
He did. But some of the greatest people were high. Jimi Hendrix.
He loves Jimi Hendrix.
Jimi Hendrix was high when he was playing guitar. Rick James.
I'm not saying Jordan was drunk while he was playing, but he didn't have the preparation and recovery like somebody like Tom Brady or LeBron. That
well,
they have
you
to
can
do
be
everything right.
built different too. Like some guys have to get 10 hours of sleep, and then
he never slept. Yeah.
And then there's some guys who need 5 hours and a girl. You know what I'm saying? LeBron played longer than Michael. LeBron pays more attention to his liver and his kidneys, and like he spends more attention to that.
Yeah.
Michael was, John Daly.
So if you convinced the Bulls back then, and
when it was time to train, Michael trained though.
But let's say you convinced him to go vegan back in the 80s,
wasn't going to
early
happen.
90s. Then the Bulls, because they needed size to beat you.
No.
Would they have beaten you if they gone vegan? Because like Lillard said, when he went vegan, he lost weight though. What happens to Shaq? What happens to LeBron? What happens to Jordan?
But
if
when
they go vegan and lose weight, like you lost weight, right?
When they lose weight, they lose feces. Every person usually is walking around between 12 and 35 unprocessed feces.
That's nasty.
In your small intestines. When your belly is out like this, not trying to fat shame, when your belly is out, that's a inflamed small intestines.
Yeah.
That causes a hernia. And it comes out like this, oh, I'm eating good. Well, your body is not digesting it. The difference also, guys used to come to training camp to get in shape. Now, guys are in shape year round.
But they're blowing Achilles and,
Yeah, but because they also don't know how to treat their body. They're training all the time, but they don't know they need nutrients. They don't know they need magnesium. They need magnesium D2, NAD. They don't know that
I keep hearing about NAD.
Oh yeah, it's amazing.
Like, what is that? Like,
I can't say the. I used to be able to say the whole
I know it's a
technical
crazy
name.
word, but what is the benefit? I guess
it literally helps your cells not die. That's the best way of me explaining it.
It's like an antioxidant.
It's the thing that makes your cell alive anyway, right? It's almost like the fan inside of your mitochondria.
So you think if the Jordan Bulls and all these guys eat, but Shaq was so big, LeBron, what if they lose the weight, right? Does that hurt them?
But it's so funny.
Barkley, does that hurt him if he's smaller than
Well, Barkley said it, but Barkley forgets how hard he was to guard when he was big. And he was hard to guard when he said he was Moses Malone said, if you wasn't so lazy and you took care of it, you'd be great. When the Dream Team came around, Charles Barkley was the best player.
He was a beast, yeah.
He was the best player on the squad.
Barkley recently said he was the second greatest basketball player of all time. Did you hear that?
Yeah, and I'm not disagreeing. Let me tell you.
You're going to put him above Bird, Magic?
No.
He didn't say above LeBron. He's saying the guys he played with. But I get what he's saying.
No, he was talking on the Dream Team. He said, I'm the second best player on the Dream Team. And at that time,
he was the leading scorer.
Magic was just back from not playing with the HIV thing. Laimbeer had a bad back, which I also believe was a compacted colon, right? Because it gives you muscle
how much
spasm.
longer would his career have gone if
I would have let him know, and we would have literally been able to do the things.
Yeah.
And if Larry would have been doing Pilates and
yoga
and yoga and strengthening
meditation,
whatever, maybe he wouldn't have had those back problems.
Because he didn't need the athleticism necessarily like a lot of these other guys. Cause he's almost like Joker.
But he was really athletic though, and I say that to somebody. He may have looked slow, but he wasn't slow. He was coming down, dunking
quick,
on people. It's just. Kind
of like Luka looks slow, but he's shifty.
Luka nowhere close to Larry.
Really?
Nowhere close. I'm telling you.
How about Joker?
Joker is Sabonis. Now, when I played against Sabonis in 2000, and he damn near felt like I was walking into a wall every time I hit him. I couldn't imagine when he was younger.
Older, yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine when he was younger. When he was younger, he was a problem.
So Pat Riley said if he had one shot, who are you going to give the ball to, Larry or Michael? And he said, if I'm going to win one game, it's Michael. If it's to save my life, it's Larry. So if you had the same decision to make, one shot, Larry, Michael, LeBron, Kobe, who gets that last shot?
Laimbeer.
To save your life.
To save my life?
Save your life.
What's the shot?
Larry's going to probably post you up at the elbow, is my guess.
All right, give me the better.
Let's go
Of the game?
sideline out of bounds. Celtics, Pistons are up 5. That same play where Thomas threw it to Laimbeer. Sideline out of bounds.
Sideline
Near
out
half
of bounds.
court. Near half court.
Well, Michael proved
5 seconds.
Michael proved that that's his shot. He did
With
it
the
more than
Cavs.
once.
Yeah.
He did it against the Cavs and he did it against Utah.
But Bird did that a lot too, right?
Yeah, but I'm just going to tell you, when Larry does this, it's going in. If it gets above his head, your ass
Or,
is messed
honestly,
up.
Durant.
I say that too.
Yeah.
I said where they make the mistake is you can't let him lift the ball above his head. And I tell people, and this is for all you young kids out there to realize, I did not curse on this podcast because I never know who's going to watch it. But the most important thing is defenses don't let them put the ball in scoring position. So Tex winners would say, great defense is man, you, rim. So if he shoots over you and it goes in, that's a good shot. But if you're outside of ball rim, that's bad defense. So that's one way. When I was coaching in Puerto Rico, my boy Paul, who played with me, sent me a text the other day. I said, put the orange thing in the orange thing. And don't let them put the orange thing in the orange thing. And I was like, that's it. Yeah. That's the whole game.
Right.
And they would laugh and giggle. And I said, you're laughing at me. But if you sit right now and simplify it, KISS. Keep it simple, stupid.
Yep.
So if you just say, hey, I got this orange thing, and I'm going to put it in the orange thing, and I'm going to throw it to him, and then I'm going to cut
A to B.
I'm going to get it in there.
Yeah.
If you don't think about anything else, and then when they get it, don't let them put the orange thing in your orange thing, you will be amazed on how easy this game is.
Yeah.
Because it's an easy game that they make hard.
Well, it gets tricky with all the motion. And
Football is hard.
Yeah.
Soccer is hard. Hockey is hard. Basketball is a simple game.
All right, how about this from a mental health perspective? How much of a grind can NBA basketball be, like emotionally, physically?
I'm a senior in high school, and I can't wait to get to high school to open up the paper to see my name in the little section in the New York Daily News. And my guy who had been around me since I was 12 years old, named Barney Davis, comes into my school and says, stop reading the paper. And I looked at him, I said, yes, sir. And then he left and went to his school. And I closed the paper and I stopped looking at the paper. I say that to everybody because if you sit around and you turn on ESPN to watch your move, you're now adding stress to yourself. I also didn't deal with tickets. So my cousin Sabrina dealt with the tickets. So if you had to go to the game, I'm the wrong person to talk to because I'm like, Prince, you should pay to watch me. Like, why are you asking me for tickets? Usher, I called Usher, text Usher when I was in Vegas. He was like, oh, I only got the $1,000 tickets available. Yeah. I wasn't being disrespectful. He was at work.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
I didn't go because I was like, kid, I've been around since you were 11. But then I had to think about it. This is his living. And what's $1,000 going to be if I really want to help my boy out? He is in Vegas putting on a show to make money.
Right.
That should have been my mentality. That if you're not thinking about that, and all the other worries that you're supposed to think about. The difference with me is I bought the largest house in Michigan. I have 2 brothers, 2 cousins, my daughter, and my best friend, Michael, all living in the house. And then my brother had his girlfriend, and then my brother Jerry had his girlfriend, and then my cousin had her boyfriend, and then Michael and I used to share girlfriends. And then, just being serious. And so just imagine I had all of that working. But if it was a game day, you could hear the mice in the house. You could hear the squeak. There was
Everybody's after you.
Nobody in my family made noise. No one bought any.
They knew. Yeah,
they knew,
yeah.
Right? I had to perform. And I looked at it like it was a Broadway show. I had to perform tonight. I don't have time to worry about all of this stuff. And I had a great family unit protecting me. My brother Jerry, to this day, is still protecting me. My cousin Sabrina, if you're abroad, will figure out a way to beat you up.
Yeah.
And she's 68. Right. So I was protected. A lot of people aren't.
So you had that kind of stability and
I have family
resources.
stability.
Yeah. Like you've probably seen other people.
I also don't read the news on sports.
So did you ever have periods of anxiety, depression,
A ton of it.
fear, doubt?
When I retired, too. I had really
Well, yeah, because your
bad.
career's over, and that's like, what do I do now, right?
Yeah, because I only wanted to do this. And then I wanted to be a late night host.
What would you say to somebody that is struggling with anxiety, depression, maybe they're going in a game and they just have tons of doubt, fear? What kind of advice would you give to someone, whether it's a player or just a person?
I tell you, in fear, false evidence appearing real. It's not real. It's all in your head. 2, Mel Robbins said, let them. Right? What she says in her book. I've read a lot of books. And this book, I needed at the time it came out. Somebody told me about it. I gave it to somebody for their birthday. My wife took my book and hopefully read it. You just got to let them. The deal is you think that you hold the weight. And this is what I said, you cannot get in trouble. So you don't have a parent to say, right? I told you so.
Yeah.
Embarrassment is the lowest of all of the emotions. So you can be embarrassed, it's going to be gone. It's the lowest of all of them. You just have to be like, all right, didn't work, next. Because if you don't do it and you hold on to it, some people don't even know what you're holding on to. It's like, what are you talking about?
What about just fear of failure, though? Everybody kind of has that, right? Embarrassment. You go into a game and
Fear of failing is not attempting. God, I got to write that down. Call Starkiss.
So it's courage. You can't have courage without fear.
You have to go through it. Think about the Wizard of Oz.
Mm-hmm.
He only had courage when he went into the fire, and he didn't get burned. Like, if you don't do it, Yoda said, no, try not, do, or do not. There is no try. So if you don't do it, then that's why Nike guy said, just do it. If it works and it goes in, cool. If it doesn't, do it again.
And you were like that your whole career? Is that how
My
you
whole
approached
career.
it? So you didn't have a ton of anxiety before games because you thought this way?
I ate pretzels. I listened to classical music, and I drank iced tea and lemonade, and I would go to the game. And sometimes, I'm telling you, I don't even know if I went through the red light or if it was a green light. You're letting the music take you. And these pretzels are good.
Yeah.
And the reason I ate pretzels because it felt like it swelled up in my belly, and I wasn't hungry. And then I would get there. I was always paranoid about being late. That was a huge thing. I don't like being late. And in NBA, you get fined, and it looks
prepared,
bad.
Yeah.
And it's always better when you get there. Like, if you get there an hour before everybody else, at least you don't have to worry about traffic. You're there. You're safe.
You're prepared.
You're there to play.
Like Rodman's on a bike looking at tape, and Kobe's looking at tape. And
it's so funny, Rodman would ride the bike after, too.
Man.
Right? But he also was an anomaly. He's not from this planet.
Yeah.
Dennis Rodman is definitely
Best defensive player ever, 6'7".
Everybody wants to go ever, but ever is not over. But he is probably the best basketball player or athlete I've ever seen.
Jordan and Shaq. I mean, it's like, what else do you got to
And
say?
David Robinson.
And David Malone.
And Larry Bird.
And Bird, yeah. Magic.
And Magic. And, I mean.
So what was his superpower?
His ability to play harder than you.
So you're taller than him by a decent margin, but he could out-rebound you.
He can out-rebound anybody.
Just because of mentality?
Isaiah said, because he said he watches how the ball hits the rim, and he knows where it's going to show up.
Do you believe that, or do you think there's something else?
I think he's not human.
Yeah.
I really do. I think he's human, but, like, I'm sad the things that his daughter got to go through and all that stuff they put on but the one thing his daughter has to realize, the DNA that she has, the way she is, didn't come from anybody but him.
But he could just go through pain too, right? I mean,
I don't even know
pain.
Yeah. Jägermeister. He probably still drinks Jägermeister. I didn't know what it was, right? He was let me get Jägermeister. Yeah, let me get a Jägermeister. I was like, what is this? Like, they're bringing
Nasty.
German stuff out? My God, when I tasted that, I was like, why don't you just go get a gallon of gas and put some Red Bull in it and then put some ice? Because that's what that was.
Think about anybody that's not like is hated though. So you guys were hated in Chicago.
Yeah.
Look at like whatever president it is, whatever.
We were
side-
hated in L.A. so bad.
I'd be
Ritz
scared.
Carlton wouldn't let us book rooms.
Come on.
That's why Chicago had it. He was from Chicago,
Wow.
the general manager. When the Bulls came in, he goes,
Yeah.
you got rooms. I don't know what price he gave it to him, but they wouldn't let us check in. So we had to go to the Marriott down the road.
Wow, that's funny.
That's how much they hated us.
So what, like from that '96 team, you guys were staying Ritz Carlton type places, I'm sure all the time.
Yeah.
What was that whole? I mean, you guys were like the Beatles, man. Like what
It
was
was
that?
it was that.
What was
I
that
traveled
experience
with
like?
I was with Elvis Presley, Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Dennis Rodman was Michael Jackson. We all were the Beatles. To
So
somebody
the
now,
Bulls
they don't-
'96 were eating like legit food, and everybody else eating like
Yeah.
fast food.
And we were on the MGM, which was a beautiful plane
Yeah.
they used to fly.
Yeah.
And we would treat it like the kings we were. So when you're treated that way, you play that way.
So Krause wasn't that bad.
No, this is funny. Jerry Krause, God rest his soul, you know, he did me wrong twice, but it was just business.
Yeah, he was a business guy.
I just say that
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
just business.
Right,
It wasn't
right.
great business.
Yeah.
It wasn't business in my favor, but it was just business.
Right.
And Jerry just did what he was doing. And he knew, he had me come 3 times. When Doug Collins was like, no, we don't. He was like, no, let me go bring Salley back in. And he knew, you know, because he knew how to put a team together.
Yeah.
Right? If everybody can score 30, you're not going to win because everybody thinks they should be shooting. But there's
Well, it's
only
like
one
Chuck
basketball.
Daly. Didn't he say, "You see that guy right there?
Yeah.
Who's that? Isaiah.
Isaiah
You see
Thomas.
that guy right there?
And then I went to Joe. I said, Joe, he said, Sal, you know I got to get the ball to Zeke.
Yeah.
Then Bill going to want some shot.
Then he's got some.
He said, and Vinny going to come in the game. You know
Right.
he got to get the first shot off.
Yeah.
Then I got to get mine. He go, bro, you got to go get it
No
off
more
the rim.
shots.
I was like, but Dennis getting all the rebounds.
Now
He
you're
said, go
competing
get
with
the
Dennis.
offensive rebound. Let Dennis get the defensive rebound. And that's how it had to be.
So what's like a favorite memory from that team?
My favorite memory?
Like like one of them.
My favorite memory is we were on the bus and Michael, you know, we all in suits. And Michael takes the jacket off, you know, Hart help him with his jacket off and help Pippen with his jacket off. Then they help Hart with it. You know, they was acting like they were all gangsters. They fold their stuff. They sitting around in their perfect suits, and I'm thinking, oh, I fit right in here. I'm a fashionista.
Yeah.
So I'm suited up too. And he's like, Hart, pop the emergency thing. Now the bus is rolling. He pops it. MJ pulls out, bites his tip off. He light his cigar. He lights their cigar. It's good luck if I light your cigar. Like I pour you a drink, you don't pour me a drink.
Yeah.
You know. And I was like, yo, give me the cigar. We smoke cigars. I'm like, this is the best shit ever. Imagine I'm on a team with MJ and Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman,
Yeah.
and Phil Jackson, and my memory is smoking cigars on the
Wow.
bus.
That's wild.
That's all. I was like, this is freedom.
Yeah.
That's right. Smoke the cigar. You know what I'm saying? That was my deal. Like I was like, hey, what are you doing? You can't smoke on the bus. And then Phil got a cigar. He goes, when the Bulls on the bus, we smoke on the bus.
That's great.
And I'm like, gangster.
So it represented freedom, yeah.
Yeah, it was like
That's
we
cool.
did a. Steve Kerr hated the smoke.
Yeah, that team had a lot of clicks.
Yeah, it was so many clicks
Yeah.
that it clicked. But
So
it was
like-
a trip. Let me tell you this.
Yeah.
When we had to practice, when we had lost the game in Toronto, and he told us to tape up, we were playing for minutes, and everybody was taped up, and first in the film room, and these guys were holding hands, and then they were breathing one breath, and the guy was explaining what we were doing, and Phil was playing that drum on beat, burning an incense to get the spirit out of losing, and he's playing it, and these guys, and then all of a sudden he was in, and that breath is happening, and all of us is breathing in at the same time, doing the same thing. And then practice was over. He said, all right, get out of here.
That's it. He just ended it.
We won 19 straight.
Wow. So instead of playing like running suicides and all that stuff and playing for minutes, you guys
No,
were
because
breathing.
the game is mental,
Yeah.
right?
So like one breath, one mind, that type of thing.
one mind, you breathe deep into your belly,
Yeah.
right? So if I say to you, this is another trip. This is a trip that they're going to think I stole it from somewhere, but this is in yoga too, right? If you do this, you're going to breathe in your lungs. If you do this, You're going to breathe in your stomach.
Wait, what are you saying? Do this? Do what?
This, you breathe it into your lungs. Wait, this. And then when you breathe out, if you switch the fingers, you're now going to your lungs. It's the craziest thing in the world. So when you see them sitting like this is why. They want to tell you where the breath is going. I had no idea that really worked. Each time I try to trick myself, but imagine one team doing one breath. It's so funny when I
can't picture all you killers like you and
I
Pippen
said
and
holding
Jordan
hands.
and Rodman.
Like, yo,
you guys are literally holding hands.
we're like this.
Like Michael Jordan's taking this seriously, though?
That's what I said.
Yeah.
I said, I looked over. It's Michael. It's Hawk. It's Pippen. It's Judge Bushler. It's Steve Kerr. It's Wellington. I can tell you the whole thing. How it was all going around, and I'm like.
And you guys are just sitting there, eyes closed, breathing?
Breathing. So we got to get in one breath. You guys are off. So we got it one breath in.
Wow.
One breath out. Ted Gus is my coach right now, is doing this with kids right now. And they're showing you when a kid gets crazy in school, don't put him in the corner with a dunce hat on. Sit him still. Teach him how to meditate. Teach him how to think about what he's doing. Think about the breath going in and out.
Kind of a Navy SEAL thing, like one breath, one mind.
Exactly.
You know, 6
They
per
stole
bullet,
it from
one.
us.
Yeah, right. But do you still breathe a ton?
I still do.
So what are
yoga
your
all the
things to
time.
stay when you do? You get anxious today? Like,
Yeah.
and if so, what do you do?
I was
about it?
anxious coming here. Everybody was laughing. This is my first time you've been in my studio.
I love it.
Yeah. So I didn't know. You know what I'm saying?
What gets you anxious, depressed, and what's the quickest way to get out? Is it breathing? Is it stuff like that?
Me wanting something before it's supposed to be there. That's when I get anxious and I think, oh man, it's right there. Give it to me. I know the ideas work. So I know that I am set up to talk about this and move this in this direction and then let it flow. I'm not afraid of what comes from it too, right? Just make the art. And I say this, if you got a great idea, remember, none of us get out alive. So this is just between the day you're born and the day you die. So they ask, why are you being vegan? You might as well just eat whatever you want. I don't think anything should die for me to live. So I'm just doing all I can until I die, like 120, 123.
So when you're 120 or 130 or whatever the hell you're going to be.
Oh, my God, that 20-year-old, the things I'm going to hear from Extra. You're 100 years older than her. She better not get pregnant. She get pregnant. You lying.
Oh, that's good.
That is crazy.
All right, so we're 120, and you're looking back on your life. What would make you say I had a great life?
Oh, I say it now. Waking up what would make me, out of all the things, my kids. Having watching and helping other humans grow, and they have the DNA inside of them, and it's from me. I think that's amazing.
What was harder, acting? You were in a $1 billion movie, Bad Boys 4.
Yeah, a couple of times.
So you were in, 3 Bad Boy films?
Yes.
I want to talk about how that happened, but then what is more intense, Game 7 finals or
Game 7
acting in a movie?
In the finals, you don't get a second chance. You don't get.
There's not 10 takes.
No.
There's not a wide, a close. Yeah.
No, you were like, yo, I can do that better.
Yeah.
And then you do it better. And you're like, cool. Now you got to remember to do it again when the camera moves with the same intensity. Yeah.
But did you prepare your ass off for acting like you did in sports?
Yeah.
In basketball?
Yeah, every time I do something, I focus. I stop what I'm doing, and that becomes my focus. You know, that was a cool part about my wife.
So that's like your superpower is focus.
Yeah, I think my superpower is I can focus longer than everybody else. Because there's guys in New York that thought they were way better basketball players than me, but they weren't better pros than me. And know why I say that? Because they didn't make it.
Well, they didn't win 4 rings. And
even without the rings,
yeah.
they ain't make it.
Right.
So if the ultimate goal is to be a pro and
Yeah.
you don't make it, you ain't make it. Then you can't tell them about what you would have and could have done.
So you've played with the greatest players in the game, Isiah, Jordan, Kobe, Shaq, greatest teams, greatest coaches, Chuck and Phil, against the greatest players, Magic, Kareem, Bird. Yeah, I mean, you've done it all.
Kel, Chief.
So is there like a common thread, do you think, if you had to distill this with the greats.
Yes, I'm Forrest Gump. So I resonated with Forrest Gump more than anybody else. And I say this because I've never done cocaine. And the reason I've never done cocaine is because it killed one of my best friends. I didn't smoke weed until I was 36. And when my brother got in trouble for having roach burns on his fingers. I didn't drink because my father was an alcoholic. I got healthy because he died at 73, and I found out most men don't live past, 7-footers don't live past 60 years old. So I got to sit on the sideline and watch while I was in it. So I wasn't in the audience. I was on the court. So I got pictures of me blocking Michael's shot and Larry's shot and dunking on Parrish and dunking on Kareem and playing Magic. And I have it all. I've done it. Don't remember it. Like can't tell you game.
But you've lived it.
But I lived it close and I was in it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't just I was thinking about it. I was in it. So when you think about it that way, if anybody has anything to say to me, most of the time I smile when they say it because I go, "Oh, you watched that?" Yeah. I go, "Yeah, I played it." Yeah, but dude, you had to pay to watch me. You got to go home after and talk about it. And if I were to walk into the club and your girl was with you, she was not going to stare at you. She was going to think of how to get over to us.
Yeah.
So I was able, and I played that part to a T. You know what I'm saying? I walk in and I was more confident there than I was on a basketball court. And it was, I always loved being the player, and I always loved being the underdog. Even now, man, I'm
The
going
chip on your shoulder.
Yeah, I'm not good at watching sports.
Right.
I said, I don't watch basketball because I don't like watching other people do what I've done. And they took it the wrong way. And what I mean by that is, I was at Cedric the Entertainer's house and we were playing. This is 10 years ago. What was I? Yeah, no, I was younger than that. I was 48. And I'm playing against this kid. They go, "This kid's pretty good." I said, "Whatever." And the kid did a move. And when he went by me this way, I know to drop step my left foot. It didn't move. Like I had to turn this way to see him. And then I walked off court. They go, "Come on, Sal." And I go, "No, I'm done." And they go, "Come on, Sal. Come on, man. You stop playing around."
Yeah.
And I walk off. My wife was wrong. I said, "I'm done." And I put my sneakers on. I said, "That was my last game ever. If I can't do it, I'm not doing it."
Right.
And I'm not watching it.
All right. What if you had the best of the USA, Europe, kind of like Ryder Cup style in golf for basketball? Who wins that today?
Today?
Yeah.
NBA.
They beat them.
Well,
you got Luka,
NBA is older
Joker.
now. This is the problem. You got Giannis. You got the Greek Freak. You got Joker. You got Luka. You have Schroeder, who would love to beat up on Americans.
That's right.
Right? The great NBA players are older now.
Yeah, LeBron, Curry, they're kind of on their way out.
Yeah.
So Europe might win that one. Be a good idea, though, wouldn't it, to get some traction?
Be a great idea.
Last question.
Shy McGill.
Gilbert Arenas, his kid, or Bronny? Who's gonna?
Gilbert Arenas.
He's gonna be better.
Yeah.
Yeah, he can play.
It depends.
Yeah.
If he can get his mental together, because his leg was a situation. His father is very demanding, and his mother is very demanding. Mm-hmm. The best thing is that he grew up rich. He didn't have to worry about, money.
I love it.
Why didn't anybody pick Curry for the game or for the life-saving shot?
Because it would be too far away.
Really? For Curry?
Well, the shots he makes are those that way less a chance.
Oh.
Right. I would say, who did I pick?
You picked, depending on the situation, but it sounded like Bird. Whoever can get there.
Yeah.
Once Bird did this, it was going in.
Yeah.
If you prove me
You
it
would
did.
take Bird over Curry on shooting?
Yeah. I'm gonna go with it.
John, thank you so much.
Thank you, brother.
Appreciate
I
it.
appreciate it, man. Send a check to South Consultants LLC.